You might just kind of touch on the book cover, a bit of advice for people.
Yes. So the first thing is, okay, so our book cover design is quite an involved process, and for good reason. People will always say everyone judges a book by its cover. So it is really important to have a good cover. That is so vital. And certainly things like typography is important. Sometimes authors come to us and they already have a book cover, but they haven't put the title or anything on yet. So the artwork was done without thinking about content. Okay, so how are we going to put the title up? Oh, I think we're going to have to blur out a part of your lovely artwork because you didn't think about a title. So one of the things that we do is we always recommend to authors, do a bit of research, figure out what kind of covers you like. And we always have a questionnaire that we send to authors because we really want to get as much information as possible. And so one of those things is what covers are out there that you like. So we always recommend they start with looking at books in their own genre to get an idea of what other authors are doing. But then we also encourage them, to look beyond, because sometimes there might be a particular color that speaks to them, or there might be a particular typography. So we really look at all of those little details. And then what we do is we go through a proposal process where we actually create 3 very different mock-ups, different typography, different artistic directions, so that the author feels, I've seen a nice scope of possibilities here. It's not just one type of mock-up with maybe 3 different fonts. It's really 3 different options. And then we continue, tweaking from there. But I would think the number one thing is just don't look amateur. And it's ridiculous that I'm even saying that at the end of 2023, but I am amazed at how many really bad do-it-yourself book covers still get out there. And I think to myself, it's not like 1999 anymore, guys. Like there are even if you don't want to work with us, even if you really want to go full DIY, I mean, there are so many ways you can still get a decent book cover. So do not do something that looks like a Microsoft Word document. Don't get creative with typography, but be sure that people can read it. So yes, you slim down. I mean, everyone always looks at their cover full screen. It looks amazing. I'm seeing all these little details in the background. Well, 9 out of 10 people are going to see those details because all you've got is a thumbnail and all of your marketing assets, certainly on Amazon. So you really shrink whatever you have that you think is so wonderfully detailed and make sure that all of those elements still stand out. Think about typography. Make sure that your subtitle is not too long, because the more content you have on the cover, it might sound obvious, but the more content you have, suddenly the less of a role and the less of a presence artwork even has. So just try to keep things, or if you really have a text-heavy title, then maybe the artwork is really more the font and the typography placement. And then that's more of your artistic concept and not so much, yeah. And go easy on the stock photos. People who have like one stock photo, okay. But I see covers where people have like just a collage of stock photography and they're not really blended well together. There needs to be some synergy. It needs to all come together nicely on a cover and not just have these very distinct, separate elements.